Hey guys, I'm your Central Drummer, and I'm going to be talking about what basically on the title of the video is what it's like to have a drum legend as your drum teacher. So some of y'all probably know that I've went to jazz workshops. Like I went to the UNT Jazz Workshop in Denton, Texas, and I had a couple lessons with some guys. Like I've had lessons with Ed Soph. I had lessons. Yurika, who's a marimbaist, but that's not a drum set. But it's taught me a lot for drum set. But when I was like at my community college now, well, I've been going to my community college, but now I'm currently at Texas State and had like a year with this amazing drum teacher, and he is a drum legend or a drum jazz legend who's part of the history books. Now, who am I talking about? Yeah, the person I'm currently studying is a teacher at Texas State. His name's Butch Miles. Butch Miles. He's a really cool guy and all that. Really nice to have him as my drum teacher. So what may classify him as a jazz legend? Got a list. Frank Sinatra, Count Basie. He's played with Sammy Davis Jr., Dave Brubeck, Mel Tormund, Lena Barton, Jill Williams, Ella Fitzgerald. Oh dang, I didn't know that. Ella Fitzgerald, Woody Herman, Clark Terry, Gary Mulligan, Harry Sweets Edison, Benny Goodman, Tony Bennett, as I said earlier, Rosemary Cooney, Zubin Smith, Itzhak Perlman, Dick Hyman, Willie Nelson, and a lot of others. And those were just some I named. So, why is he a jazz legend? Well, basically he's played with all these great people, and it's really hard to be great and play with these people and all that. Well, maybe not really, no. Who knows? But playing with Count Basie, Tony Bennett, and some other people who are like jazz legends. He's a jazz legend because he played with these legends and all that. Now, some of y'all have asked me, like, what was your first lesson like with him and all that? Well, before I say that, let me say my preconceived idea that I had before I had my lesson. So some of my other drum teachers I got to have private lessons with one time or a couple times and all that. I always had that little bit of fear that they're going to yell at me and all that, and they're going to treat me like dirt and treat me like numbers, like other colleges do. Like what I've heard from UNT is that they treat you like numbers, and some of the teachers will basically treat you like numbers, and they don't care about you. Well, some of them do, and you get yelled at. Basically, you just get yelled at, and you don't like their energy, because I sense people's energies, all right? Like, I worked at a fast food place, and some people don't like the service. I can feel their energy. And sometimes if they're in a bad mood, I can feel their energy too. And I'm like, oh, this is so crappy. But I wanted a drum teacher that was nice and all that. So I'm hoping that the place I went to is a nice guy. He smiles out at the time. So I was like, oh my God, this person has a huge ego and all that. But I was totally wrong. So here's what happened with my first lesson. It was like the second week of school, because the first week was like auditions, and so I wasn't able to do it. Plus, he was doing the Buddy Rich Memorial. Yeah, did I mention jazz legend? Yes. He did like a Buddy Rich thing. So it was like the second week or third week. No, the second week of school, and we had a set time, and so waited that hallway, and he showed up. He was like, "Hey, Todd," and chatting a little bit. And then when we went to a special room with 2 drum sets, and we did a drum that day, we just talked. I was mentioning the syllabus. It was like, he has a notebook to remember, because he has a lot to do. Towards the end of the lesson, we didn't even drum yet at all. He was towards the end of the lesson. You got any questions for me? I think I asked him a question, but I can't remember what they were. And he was such a nice guy. He smiles all the time. He's very optimistic. Loves everybody that he talks to. He's such a genuine person. He's one of the best drum teachers I've ever had, and he is the best drummer that I ever have. Now, here's the thing. I go to the school. He's a teacher over at the school I'm at, and he gets to play. You know what that means? Record time. So I record him. Like every time I know he's playing, I get a chance to record him, and all that. And if he doesn't play, I'm like, oh no, that was part of history, and all that. Because literally, it's part of history. It's a living legend, and all that. So I always get this opportunity to record him and learn as much as possible. And here's the thing with teaching, and I'm thinking about making this as a video of how to get the most out of your drum teacher or your teacher in general, is that one, has to be a great educator. Two, has to be a great performer and all that. If you don't have one of those, then well, you can be a great educator, but if you really want to influence your students, you have to be a great performer and all that. And what my being performer is have some great skills, a little bit more beyond the student actually has. And so that's what I recommend as an educator. So that's a little sneak peek. Yeah. That's why I think he's such a great teacher. Would I recommend a lesson with him? Of course. Of course I would. That's right. And so I recommend him as a drum teacher because he was the absolute best person you can have as a drum teacher. Well, that's it, guys. That's all I have to say. There's going to be more coming soon. And hopefully, and I'm pretty sure you will, have the best day ever, guys.